than Skanks did last game was done in only a game time of 48 minutes, and he lost. I don't know how absurd that is, that FY could do that much damage and still lose the game, but yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how it was possible. Up against Newbie, I suppose anything back then was possible, but in our game now, it's a fresh slate. It's Power Rangers versus Golden Boys. PR desperate for a victory here, or else their fate will be decided by the next series coming up. Currently, it already is, because they don't go 2-0. They don't guarantee themselves the tiebreaker. They could be eliminated from the defense based on that result in Game 1. But they're going to start with Lucifer himself.
Yeah, I think if Power Rangers had got a 2-0 against Golden Boys, they all would have but assured that they move on to the next phase, because I think it's very unlikely that Stark win 2-0 against Monkey Business. I do think they can pull out a 1-1, though. So Power Rangers really do need this win, because I wouldn't be surprised if later on tonight Stark do take a single win up against Monkey Business, and then are able to skate their way into phase number 2 without a tiebreaker.
If they are able to do so, upset of the tournament.
Yeah, that definitely would be. Doom, first pick for Power Rangers, though, that was banned out in the second phase last time. I don't value Doom as first pick. I really don't. I do think he's strong enough to maybe warrant a second, definitely a 3-4 pickup. But first pick Doom is a little bit awkward. Then again, it also doesn't reveal that much, I feel, because, I mean, the classic thing about Doom is he's a counter to everyone, right? So it's not like you're like, oh, we can't draft X hero now because Doom or something like that. The biggest thing is that you know that the Doom is going to be, or at least you should know that the Doom is off lane. We haven't seen any safe lane Dooms just yet.
It's always been off lane.
I don't think we've seen a 4-position Doom either.
I was actually wondering that, because that was where my thought kind of went when you said, well, Doom brings on a first pick. Like, normally the first pick which you get is the one that opens up your laning phase. So you can go, you know what, I can run this guy jungle, I can run this guy mid, or I can run this guy off lane. The Doombringer doesn't really provide that, but it makes a lot more sense when you see the second pick up here from Power Rangers. Lich actually got a couple of buffs which really give control in the lane, where he doesn't share his experience anymore with the enemy. So it doesn't matter where your lane is going to be positioned. He can keep the lane back. Then Doom's got Devourer as well, and they can make the most out of this off lane, because Lich can get his second point up. I don't want to actually see his second point up in Ice Armor unless they're having a real hard time, but he can make up for what Doom lacks early on if he doesn't get himself a good creep aura. And that is the fact that Doom has shite all armor.
Yeah, it's pretty garbage.
Yeah, it's zero. Like garbage is nothing. It's not even garbage. It's before its waste.
Yeah, garbage is at least something. If you open up the garbage can, there's nothing in there, nothing at all. So the Lich will definitely help out in that regard. And let's not forget that the Lich armor was buffed up. I believe it was like 2-3 patches ago, where it now applies to range heroes as well, the slow. So it just means that the ice armor is a lot more prolific than it used to be. That being said, Golden Boys, I mean, they open with Gyrocopter Beastmaster. I feel that's a very safe opening, given how well they played last game with their Beastmaster. I think they'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any real problem with Golden Boys with their draft. The only issue they might be having is the fact that they do make this very obvious for what they're going to be doing, like laning-wise. And I'm wondering, too, if Power Rangers, like we've been talking about, like off-lane Doombringer, what can the Beastmaster do if he's up against a Lich and Doom as a dual safe lane? And then you get something else up from Power Rangers where they think they can get up into the face of Gyrocopter. Like the Dazzle was banned out. I don't know if they're thinking about anything else up there. Like, you get away with like a Wisp Bristleback or something like that. Like, you can mix up your lanes. Like, Power Rangers aren't just limited to this off-laner if they feel they can lock down the Beastmaster.
I feel like the Rubik or Crystal Main wouldn't be a bad pickup here. Crystal Main's still really valuable with Beastmaster as well as Gyrocopter. I think that was one of the big advantages that they had as an offlaner. Beastmaster was able to spam out the boars, which he can without that Crystal Main aura, but he can spam out a lot more wild axes if he has that aura available to him. So I think that was something that was pretty valuable. Plus the rotations that occurred. I mean, it was just a solid hero for Skanks. But once again, this is the same exact way the Golden Boys opened up all 3 cores. I cannot believe. I mean, I was looking. I didn't even have in my mind that they were going to pick up a core, because I'm looking at them going, all right, you're going to grab a support that doesn't really mean a whole lot to the enemy team. But no, they just like, here's our full strategy. They're going to go a mid lane dominator that does a lot of physical damage, backed up by the Beastmaster, who does, good amount of physical damage plus lockdown, and the Gyrocopter, who comes online relatively early. This is Golden Boys looking at 35-minute ultra team fight lockdown, essentially. They, especially on the Dire side, this should allow them to be able to take on some, especially that second or third Roshan rather easily.
It's just really so dangerous, especially when you're picking first, because now Power Rangers have the next 3 pickups to counter up these cores. You understand maneuverability is going to be a real problem, hence Witch Doctor actually now fits in perfectly, where you've got survivability during that early 30 to 35-minute team fight. You're talking about Paralyzing Cask and Death Ward's going to make it really difficult for these heroes to move forward. Then you got Chain Frost as well. Power Rangers are very intimidating if you walk into them.
I feel like picking up, like, it's to the opposite side of the spectrum, that I feel like Power Rangers should have held on to their other support because they have already shown the Lich.
So you would prefer to actually get the core matchup now?
Yeah, I would have preferred, because all 3 cores, you can actually reveal a core without giving away too much information. I feel like you locking down your 2 supports does say a lot about your draft from here. Golden Boys are going to be looking for dual lanes. They probably were already with the Lich pickup. Lich is best run in a dual lane setup. But if they had grabbed, say, their mid-matchup hero against the Razor right now, they'd still be able to keep their safe lane completely open, and Golden Boys wouldn't know whether or not they would be able to contest with, because they can right now. Golden Boys can run a Gyrocopter +2 against a Witch Doctor and whatever is run as the carry from Power Rangers, and they can win that matchup.
Yeah. Man, they definitely can. Like, I've been a big believer in Tuskar. Like, I love him with the hero which is banned out, which is the Lena. When you're able to have any kind of AoE stun after Tuskar snowballs in, it's that instant control kind of factor you get, and then it's the burst damage you get. It's Walrus Punch plus some with level 6 like push of damage. Laguna Blade's one of them. You could try and go in for something more like, I didn't want to say like a Lion in this game, because I'm still trying to think about supports which is able to tank through both what the Witch Doctor and the Lich offer. You know what I'd actually love to see in this game?
What's that?
Which would be, I'd actually really love to see a techies in this game. The Power Rangers guys don't really have great stuff against him. The early snowball into ulti combo, you can just run these guys as duels and they just make a lot of space.
Yeah.
And the Doombringer has no armor, so he kind of works crap against it. But yeah, he got nerfed so hard that he doesn't really fit.
Yeah, it's specifically the Mines combination. The Mine nerf wasn't, I would say, that big of a nerf until you look at the Tusk Techies combo, which requires you to throw down a mine
and suicide.
Yeah, when you throw down the mine after the snowball, like, now you've just halved that damage, so it is a pretty big loss.
Yeah, you basically have to go into like suicide at level 3. You got to put it into 2 to still be effective with that combo. And Spectre is the final ban out. They're really worried about that carry that's going to carry all the way through the game. The Doombringer is already a big problem anyway. And I should take out the Bane. Power Rangers remove the Bane.
I think they're looking to run dual lanes themselves, actually. Beastmaster Tusk could actually be a double melee offlane, and they could rotate the Tusk out at like level 2 and put pressure on the middle lane, especially because it's a Leshrac. You don't want to give any room to Leshrac whatsoever, and Leshrac can beat Razor. There was the drop in damage as well as the jump distance on the Lightning Storm that does hurt Leshrac mid by quite a bit, but the big advantage is still that Leshrac can throw out lightning bolts and doesn't actually have to click on the Razor specifically, meaning there's no damage or slow that he takes from that unstable current.
5 seconds.
The Visage, though, I love Golden Boys. This pickup makes a lot of sense to me. It combines really well with Beastmaster. It also has a lot of synergy. You look at Golden Boys, and they've got a lot of physical damage. Walrus Punch, Visage Familiars, Razor, minus armor and physical damage. Beastmaster has Wild Axes, increases attack speed, and does a decent amount, usually with his Necronomicon. And then Gyrocopter is obviously a bit of composite damage as well. So
it also gives you that aggression early on. Like, if if you're talking about Golden Boys, if they do want to try and go for this aggro, you have then Soul Assumption. You got ways to ensure kills in the early stages, which until now you didn't. Like it's maybe Plasma Field, maybe Axes with slow chipping away from boards. Flat cannon, and that's not even gonna be enough. It's like the rocket barrage, but that's not gonna be enough unless you get yourself in range. The Visage gives you the enablers. It gives you both a slow as well as a nuke to work with. So yeah, I am liking Golden Boy's lineup. I'm just interested to see how they can execute it on the lane. Because the Lich and the Doom will hold that lane back.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. I'm not sure if their tri-lane can actually beat. And Power Rangers, that's an interesting one. They really needed something that would come online early. I was like throwing up in the air. I was like, is Juggernaut work here? I was like, oh, I don't like him versus Beastmaster or Razor. I was looking like, okay, what about an early game hero like Slart or Sven that would come online? It's like, you still kind of have some issues with Razor, who's particularly potent. Same goes with the Visage. He's actually very tanky with his Gravekeeper's Cloak against those kind of initiations. This control that is offered by the Faceless Void works really well with the Lich and the Witch Doctor supports, but it's not going to come online for some time. Like, you need your supports to have your level 6. You need Leshrac to do very well in his middle lane as well. Our Power Rangers got really greedy with this, and I feel like they're going to be punished by Golden Boy's early aggression.
I want to, like, the Visage Familiars penetrate. Like, their stuns penetrate the Chrono, right? Like, if you got Chrono up and the Familiars fly over the top of it and then they drop.
The Familiars will be frozen by Chronosphere, but if you click the stun before the Chronosphere hits, they will still go. They will complete their stun. I believe that's how that works.
Here's the run for the first wards, and maybe next time, not this time,
to
get the Observer ward. He'll still push Cheshire Cat back out because Cheshire Cat's got, like, nothing but health consumables as well as an Observer ward. So he can't do jack here.
Yeah, sorry.
After you at the dying.
I forgot I took off my mic to cough. The important thing when you TP out like that is just that you stop Cheshire Cat from getting up his ward to block the camp. So, that's a win.
Then again,
that's a win.
Does he actually want to block up the camp? Like, Cheshire Cat wants to come up here and be able to devour from that camp.
No. He wants to block up the pole camp. He doesn't want to block up the hard camp. You are correct.
You're talking about this camp, because I'm talking about, like, this camp is the one that Cheshire Cat wants to have a crack at.
Yeah. He wants to keep the hard camp alive because it's quick access with the devour.
So instead, he puts it down on the defensive obs ward. He put the obs on the top river instead.
What did he just eat?
Ward? Can you eat wards?
I guess you can now with Tango. Did he?
Oh wait, he might have actually. No, because you've got Beastmaster who went for the Call of the Wild to start with.
Oh, okay.
He'll have Boar or Hawk to go for. Beastmaster's gonna take a decent chunk of damage here. J4 actually stopped to keep attacking. Didn't try and get in front of Skylark again. And they're not gonna get another chance at this one. They're paralyzing cast still on cooldown, but Skylark's already got to burn through majority of his tangos because of one paralyzing cask as well as one split earth. But he did get the obs ward down, which means there's no pull point.
I was really confused there. I was just like, Doom is currently digesting a delicious creep, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you took me on that run as well.
I was like, can you eat Sigil? I'm so confused right now. Like, did we get level 1 Sigil? That makes no sense.
How awesome would that be if you could actually take the aura of Sigil and devour it as a Doombringer?
I mean, just instantly killing the Sigil would be so.
Like, you had that with the Beastmaster Hawk. Like, you could take the Hawk's ability to go invis.
you just end up standing there and going invis after a few seconds.
That actually was a thing. I don't know if that's been patched out.
That sounds pretty absurd.
It was a thing.
Anyway, so this Lich, this is going to be the problem. I was not confident in Golden Boys being able to stop. This is why I was talking about aggressive tri-lane, because I don't think their defensive tri-lane can actually stop the Doom, because it's a Lich lane. Like, he's naturally going to pull it back, and the Doom can very safely farm. First of all, because he's super tanky when he has Scorched Earth going, and he has Ice Armor on him, but also because he just runs forward, devours, and then runs back. Like, he doesn't have to spend any time, like, trying to last hit. So he's going to get a really good amount of farm, and the only thing Golden Boys can really do with this is pull.
Skylark's dead. That's actually enough damage to pop him. That malediction's gonna do its work and spill first blood.
Biggity bit.
This is when it starts to make sense about how much Power Rangers are sacrificing Chommy by throwing him into this mid lane. This will change later on. But, okay, and they're gonna secure both the 2-minute runes. That actually works nicely. Or maybe, okay, he takes the bounty rune and into Scorched Earth. The damage which can be inflicted into the Visage is quite heavy, but with Razor moving up, we're going to actually back it out. But because, yeah, you put the Faceless Void in the mid lane, he's going to get a very early level 6, almost back to the days of what we saw during TI4, where you try and rush up this Faceless Void into a level 6, in the and then you just use it as an offlaner to find the space for the experience. In this case, you do it for the mid lane, but what it does allow then is for the Beastmaster to get completely pushed out of the lane. A Witch Doctor and a Leshrac? Hell no, you take such a risk to come in and get any form of experience or CS.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember telling this story. Are they actually going top?
They don't do enough damage. Cheshire Cat, actually. Okay, maybe they will be able to do enough damage until that Frost hits, and now Madara takes a lot of damage from the tower. So everything he just gained then gets taken away from him.
Yeah, and Doom's going to take advantage of that now because he's back to full HP, and he's going to, like, be right up in their face until Madara uses a healing salve of his own.
I don't think he really wants to. He's running Mango and Tango.
But yeah, this goes back to the Chinese were the first to run the Faceless Void mid.
Madara, he's really hoping that Pakwafora doesn't hurt him as much as it does. And now it's next time he actually gets 161 crits. They go for more snowball dodges. Last moment, that still means he'll be pulled into Cheshire Cat. Big Nun keeps his distance, and it will be a kill for the dual off lane going into the hands of the Doombringer.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to go on a Skylark here. They already have the Maledict with the lightning going out and the stun to land. Skylark's dead as well. 3-0 now for Power Rangers.
Well, this could be quick. This could be quick and dirty. Yeah. Like, the Razor is the only saving grace for GB, but as we know with, like, both Razors, actually Razor even more to an extent than a Viper, it takes a while before they really do any kind of damage which you're going to be scared of. And the damage is going to be coming out from Power Rangers a lot early. In fact, now top lane next time. The attack damage from... I don't know, but they're going underneath the tower now. Madara is just committing. Scorches off cooldown in 1 second time, and now Madara is going to not only burn out, they're going to potentially find themselves a triple kill. The Scorches movement speed. It's actually going to be the burning. It's a double kill for Cheshire Cat. We've gone 6 for 0 in such a short space of time. The supports are going to find levels. You got a level 4.5 Lich 4.5 minutes into the game. Like, what is going on? Like, they managed to actually win the game of pinball, and now they've actually smashed a screen and tilted the table, GB, in game 2.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Toby, I was looking at this lane and going, there's no way a defensive tri-lane really works out here. That being said, I had no idea that Power Rangers were actually going to be able to get so many kills out of this situation.
Yeah.
Golden Boys, they're really not reading the scenario at all.
I would be really, really worried as well for Golden Boys what happens after this point. Like, you pause the game, I almost feel like this is a tactical pause, except it came out from Power Rangers because they lost the Witch Doctor.
I feel like they're panicking. Like, they gave away that first kill, and the Gyrocopter dropped so low, and they're like, this is our defensive tri-lane. We have to actually stop them from farming.
What do you do now? Like, you've just lost your lane so heavily.
Well, they can't go back.
You can't rotate as well. Like, what's the Tusker gonna do? Jump on a Faceless Void? Like, all he's gonna do is just time walk himself out. And in fact, I'd be more worried about Power Rangers rotating him the Witch Doctor with a level 6, like having this level 1 Death Ward, where you just chrono and kill off Kaiser. And if you do that, you have hands down won every single lane that you are in.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like they should have put, like, the Tusk at the bottom lane, and then the Tusk Beastmaster would actually be able to do something against the Witch Doctor Leshrac, rather than the Beastmaster just dying over and over again. This tri-lane very clearly wasn't going to work out from the start. That being said, I want to go back to the Faceless Void mid. The Faceless Void mid was actually innovated by the Chinese, and they ran it, the first time I saw it, they ran it against a Viper. And I was like, oh, Faceless Void, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw them run it mid, and it was with the Poor Man Shield, and I was like, no way, are they actually going to do that? And it works out. It works out pretty well. The Razor's actually a bit more difficult than the Viper, I would say, because you get less CS. it's less harassment, but you get less CS.
It's clobbering time. They're coming up.
Oh, come on.
This phase boots on Cheshire Cat. He's happy to be locked in here. Big Gnome, however, maybe not so happy with a 3-man snowball down. But where's that Frost Arm is making it so difficult? The Lich has already killed off one, and now he can turn, and up comes the Chronosphere, locking in Cheshire Cat. The Puzzle Field will arrive, and actually hurting off the rest of his team. They need to time lock up Kaiser, and they actually get the time lock. Big Gnome can't run away, though, because you do actually have next time here, but now he's actually locking in his teammate. He got his teammate killed, and he's going to lose himself too. You've still got the bonus damage aura. It's 10 for 1. Lich is your only player which has gone down so far.
Doom is level 6 by 6 minutes.
What the shit?
I don't know. Like I praised Golden Boy so much. I was like, wow, this is what I expected out of this team when they made the move from London Conspiracy.
They're gonna lose bottom lane too. Skylark, he's out too far. Paralyzing cast, set up a double damage rune for a Witch Doctor.
And now Doom at the top lane.
Yeah.
Oh no, Madara.
Face Boots, and Madara. You can try and run around this tower. Denial is the only thing that will save you, but well, it looks like Visage was too focused on killing on Cheshire Cat. He can't reach him. The snowball's coming in, but Cheshire Cat, okay, Tusker will actually get 635 gold. He gets as many gold as we've got minutes and seconds on the board right now for killing off an off-lane Doombringer. You rotated your Beastmaster in for this as well. Oh, what is this? These teams were so close and so precise in the last game. It's like we've just...
I don't know, Toby. I've never seen such a huge dichotomy between a team's performance in Game 1 and Game 2. I mean, Game 1, Golden Boys showed us exactly what this team could be capable in the future. And now, Game 2, they're showing us exactly what they've been doing in the defense so far, which is making bad decisions, bad plays, and losing games constantly. Golden Boys are just on tilt right now, and that's what it comes down to. They gave away that first kill. They panicked. They're going, we need to shut down this Doom. We're losing this tri-lane versus dual lane scenario. We need to get aggressive, and the over-aggression of their plays ended up feeding away too many kills, and now there's really very little way to come back into the game. When you have Cheshire Cat this farmed up, and a lineup, especially because the Faces Void is really going to come into play here, as with that Chronosphere, and you've got a free farming Leshrac bottom lane with the Beastmaster that's not getting anything. Like, these two heroes, Doom and Leshrac, are going to output so much damage during the Chronosphere.
I can't believe, too, the Void's just feeling he's so confident. He got himself a 8-minute Midas over on this Faceless Void. He felt so confident he could stick there with a PMS, Quelling Blade, and Boots. Now, Kai's is going to realize just how weak he is. He turns on the ulti. The Leshrac stun will keep him back, so even if you thought about snowballing or call-downing down here, in fact, 4 heroes from GB are on this bottom lane. You burn your first ultimate of the Razor, you rotate the Razor for no joy, and the Void with Midas will just keep pushing further and further ahead. Or is this an intentional trade-off? Skylark comes in to try and farm up the middle lane, and the first thing that gets Midas is his boar. Like, there's just no joy here.
Dire's top tower.
And lightning spam's gonna keep Golden Boys from being able to put any real pressure. Yeah, I mean, you throw out the ice shards, like, congrats, you block them out, but the lightning is still keeping you at bay. You can't really dive into that tier 1 tower, particularly
you're losing
with
your
the
tier 1
Witch
on top.
Doctor.
Like, look at top lane, man. Like, Cheshire Cat's happy as Larry. He's got 5 armor, more than any Doom is really normally going to get. Finishes his drums 9 minutes in. They finish up the tower as well, and they've both got TPs. This is why I'm, like, very apprehensive about Golden Boys attempting anything here. They can't dive the tower because the TP support would just come in and they lose the fight after that point.
That being said, it is the right idea by Golden Boys to put pressure on the Leshrac early on. Arcade Power Rangers, I think this is almost the way you need to run Leshrac nowadays, is kind of put him safe lane or put him in a mid lane where he knows he's not going to be ganked, because he's so susceptible to that, and he's not a lane dominator, or at least not as much as he used to be. So they should try and put pressure on him. They shouldn't let him free farm away a Bloodstone nice and early, but the problem's still going to be is that their rotational heroes aren't ready to go. They don't have level 6 on Tusk. They don't have level 6 on... they don't even have it on the Beastmaster yet.
The courier just scouted out the fact that GB is farming up inside the Radiant jungle. So this is the reason why Doombringer has not backed up I was almost waiting for Cheshire Cat to not pick up drums and just go on for something more like his own hand of mice and just feel they've got this game so firmly in the bag. Ooh. They'll smoke up and J4 running over. Well, there's your smoke break and he'll see him. Can he get this paralyzing cast off? He's actually out of range of that cooldown. And Madara, malediction on him too. Big Nuns is giving a fair chunk of damage over with the Soul Assumption. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off, but now in comes Doombringer and the big Chronosphere, catching out the remaining 3 heroes right now of GP. The Doom will stop the raids from actually living through all of this, and with Scorched Earth, there's no TP support coming. I should say remaining 2 heroes as the Beastmaster was not there. That's a 2 that you lose both your supports. The Lich still got his ulti off. The Wish Doctor doesn't even have an ulti yet, but you just fed Doom more kills. He's 6-1-6 on the Doombringer right now. If we had 6 deaths to his name, it would be Satanic.
I don't even know, like, what you build as a Doom when you're this far ahead.
I would actually say Blink Dagger at this point. Just keep the aggression up. You could actually go for something else like a Silver Edge. But then again, Beastmaster's not big enough to actually have...
Yeah, it'd be okay versus like Razor, take away that unstable current, but I'm sure he's still gonna go the normal builds of Blink and Aghanims. I was just wondering if there's like...
What if you go like Blade Mail up against it? Because they're never gonna get BKBs. The Jara will be completely useless then.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty funny, because there's a lot of damage, specifically from the Gyrocopter, but there's some from the Razor as well you can't control.
The other option, though, is he just goes mech. Because, actually, no, Lich is doing that, so... Yeah.
I think
the Blade Mail was just, I'm like, looking at items which are going to give you, like, teamfight superiority. He could also just go for, something like a Shiva's Guard. Would also work nicely for your team. But you're right, Blink Dagger makes the most sense. And now he's going to find more farm on the top.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, maybe this Doom does bring back the old, like, carry Doom build, where you double down on the armor items. It'd be pretty interesting. I mean, that's the thing, right? I've never seen a Doom this far ahead, because he only plays offlane.
He could just go Radiance. Like, because he's still got 2.7k gold and he's not going to that side shop, which means it's not a Blink Dagger. Because he would buy the Blink Dagger now if it's going to be a Blink Dagger.
Honestly, Toby, he can go, like, almost anything he wants. Like, when you're this far ahead, like, everything is kind of good, you know, just because it's so absurd. Like, if you want to keep up the aggression, go for the traditional build, Blink Hags. If you want to, like, try and turn into a carry Doom, then you can go, like, you can go Radiance, you can go for the armor build. All right, Shadowblade.
It's an element of initiation, but it still gives him a better damage, and like, GB are not going to be expending money on gems and sentries and dust because they don't have the money. Now, however, they snowball down to Lashrag. He needs TP support, and he needs it now. There's not enough survivability. Then again, with both the point booster and the Vit booster, he had a lot to work with. The Hawk is scouting at the fact that Cheshire Cat's TP down. But where's the extra support rotating in? It's coming in from the west, and that's Big Num. The Void jumps in, just realized he can beat the crap out of the Rays. The familiar stuns are going to drop, but remember, you've still got Chrono. He locks the Doombringer in here, and the Snowball maybe next time walks back into the Chronosphere. You've still lost the Razor, but the Doombringer's having significant trouble getting himself out of here. In fact, he won't. The Soul Assumption damage is enough. The 2 supports of the remaining players up for Power Rangers, and now GB just have the fight of their life. That's also the 3rd time what we've seen a Chronosphere where he catches a teammate.
Yeah,
but the position just is not there. Lich, Big Num, Frost.
All right.
The cast doesn't bounce back down again. He's got 60 life. They actually lose everything. Absolutely everything. Tron wants to try and catch out one. Now, he's got the Observer Ward, which should be able to scout out that maneuvering of the Visage. The Shards try and block it out. Now, this Visage actually just denies himself over to the neutral.
Wow.
So, he gets himself away to safety. Tron doesn't find anything. And GB just got themselves back in this game. Look at the swing of the graphs, man. Yeah, 7.5k for just over for the net worth and 7.5k for the experience gain. And they're down to what's that, 4k and 3k?
Yeah, it's like a 3,000 gold swing. Like, that's absurd. It comes down to Power Rangers. Like, if they were going to fight, if they wanted to avenge the Leshrac, they needed a TP instantly. They needed a mass TP as soon as he signaled, hey, Snowball is coming towards me. And then they would have had a great fight. But then they still tried to force it, and it was primarily Golden Boys. Once again, the vision factor came in. Because they saw what was essentially going to happen, they planned it out. They had the Razor separated from the rest of the team. He's the tankiest of them all. And they would take a lot of time to eat through him, freeing perfect room for the Beastmaster and Gyrocopter to get their initiation on the Faceless Void, which he ends up panicking, throws out a Chronosphere that isn't very good, ends up getting the Doom killed and himself at the same time.
Oh, big num. Goodbye. Void, though, jumps in, gets a two-man Chrono, and here's that Death Ward combo. All Wizards Classic is the Mystic Flare. They're gonna lose two. The Snowball was already used to initiate. And that is that burst combo that you can just go to work with. Latrak able to tank through what's there. And in fact, also should flag that the Visage lost both of his familiars. He'll have a resummon up soon.
Yeah, the one big thing you cannot forget is that Faceless Void does benefit from levels pretty heavily. Not as big as he used to. It's only 15 seconds per cooldown, but...
Visage is dead.
Yeah, he's super dead.
Rage is coming over to try and deny him. And this time...
they did it.
Fourth time lucky. But that bottom tier 1 tower is still gone. And with the Visage still down... you can just push this. Like, you got Edict available, but they're moving the Doombringer back to the mid lane. Now, the Dire Observer Ward sees the trees just get destroyed, but they didn't see Cheshire Cat move out. So, if you put one-on-one together, you could potentially make two.
Time flies.
Either way, I think Power Rangers are just going to be happy with the tower that they got. Wait on the next... like they had the Midas advantage.
Yep.
They should just sit back and let Faceless Void farm until he has another Chronosphere. Same goes with, like, the ultimate of the Doom.
Smoke time from GB. They're coming out, man. They don't want to wait. But where do they go to? It can't be Roshan. Like, they do have the medallion over on the Visage, but the chance of getting caught out, like, Chronosphere is still 21 seconds down. The Radiant Observer Ward and Sentry is there, but obviously that's not going to break it, but it'll at least make it if someone like, example, Faceless Boy gets close enough, he just walks himself away. In fact, he time walks himself away up onto the hill. The shards will lock in J4. He's trapped on the hillside. He'll still get the Malediction as well as Cast Off, which will bounce around a little bit sporadically, but now the Lich Holding as well. Tuskar is dead right now. No way to save him, and they find the Razor. He'll actually trigger off the drums in his ulti, but just look at him work through it. And now the two-man Chrono, the Familiar Birds can't get close enough. You can actually see the Void repositioning himself, finding time locks, 4 heroes down. The Familiars are only freshly resummoned as well. They won't have another set for 2 minutes if they stick around for this, which they are 100% doing, and then they'll take the tier 1 tower.
I mean, again, Golden Voids just... they position themselves in a bad area. They knew the fight coming into it was going to be bad. I mean, it was the right idea initially. This is a team that cannot afford to be playing from behind. Power Rangers, especially with the Midas that they have on the Faceless Void, they needed to try and continue to push until they reclaimed a net worth advantage for themselves, take over Roshan, do those sorts of things. But so the idea was right. They needed a 5-man smoke. They needed to force a fight. But the thing is, as soon as their smoke popped and the Faceless Void got away, and they got a lot of information, and it took them like a good 8 seconds to chase into the Witch Doctor and get that kill, it was going to be a bad fight, guaranteed. It's right in front of a tier 1 tower. If the members of Power Rangers aren't there, they're going to be there via TP. So, I mean, they just jumped into a bad fight, pure and pure.
Well, right now, these Observer Wards going to watch any kind of movement from GB. Because how many smokes have we actually got left for Golden Boys? So there's one in the stash, but that's all they've really got to work with. One smoke, and now you got also a Lich Invis room doing the scouting. They see Madara as well as Kaiser moving up to that top lane, but this just gives Tron a license to push. And this guy's got 12 Bloodstone. He got that Bloodstone just before the fight began. He's got Bloodstone BTs and has 12 charges already. Now, it may not be as strong as it used to be, but still, a 12-charge Bloodstone Lashrak 19 minutes into this game and already working on his next major item. That's a big concern for GB because they just can't kill him, really.
Oh, yeah, especially since they do have the Boots of Travel on top. Like, they're going to have a lot of kill opportunities with the... I think what they're planning on doing is Power Rangers are just going to be throwing around Chronospheres, like, pretty liberally.
Yep. And
just heavily committing for a pick-off or two.
Oh, here comes the ping. Snowball went to the creep wave, but Void, there's your liberal. Just throwing out the Chronosphere. The Frost Blast. Tuskar is totally dead.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you look at Golden Boy's lineup, they have a really good 5-man setup, but Power Rangers are exceptionally strong at pickoff, and the best thing about pickoff lineups is that when you get that first kill, you become all the stronger, right? Because then you're dealing with a numbers advantage where you can easily take out yet another hero when the actual fight occurs.
They're coming in right now. Doom, he's got his ulti available, and he really just wants to get that Razor. Able to do so now. Razor got everything off he needed to, but with the Void jumping in, the Death Lord is forcing Kaiser back, and Skylark sticking around here. He's waiting for the denial. Actually attacked a little too early. Luckily for him, though, the Visage was right behind him. But the Razor still ends up going down, and with Tron rotating over, he's going to try and solo up Skylark, and I say try, he will be successful. There's no way Skylark can survive through this one. Even with the mech charge arriving in from the Tuskar, the Pulse, okay, 12 life, 13 life, the one attack that comes in from the Lich will do the job. Now, you do lose the Lash, and she's down to now 9 Bloodstone charges. The GB lose 3 heroes for this. Actually, they do kill the Doom. But they're fighting this without a Chronosphere like Power Rangers, and the fight's still going their way. Yeah, they're gonna lose their familiars again.
Especially since you're gonna have the Ags here pretty soon on the Faceless Void. Especially with the help of killing familiars. When they have that, you know, every 60 seconds, Chronosphere. Is it still 60 seconds actually? I remember they nerfed Chronosphere and the cooldown and everything else.
It should be except the cooldown 60 seconds, except the duration up to 6 seconds at level 3. Which you might actually only have the 4.5 duration.
So again, just throw it around willy-nilly. Just, you know, get a pick off on a Tuskar. Who really cares? Because Golden Boys are behind, and they're a 5-man lineup crew. They need all 5 heroes.
And killing Tuskar is a great thing too, because you take that mech away from the team fight, then you actually can force things like what was on the top lane, because you don't have that burst heal, that team fight power that the Tuskar brings.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, Golden Boys are one big machine. This is their lineup. They are a team fight machine. And when one of the cogs is missing, the whole thing falls apart.
He's coming in right now for the Tuskar. Doom's on the Tuskar. Now, Jarrett, can you get a denial off in the middle of this one? He attempted it, but this Doombringer's just so strong. He's still got his Shadow Blade available too.
Don't fight him.
Should run away, but okay, well, that's not going to happen. Faceless Boy gets the kill in the mid lane too. 3 euros down. Whew, that was a lot closer for Cheshire Cat, but he just we just 1v2'd. Like, that's what he just did on the top lane.
I mean, the thing is...
And that's his axe as well.
He had Shadow Blade the whole entire time. He was well in control. He was like, all right, I'll fight this one. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
He could have just Shadow Bladed out, ignored it like half of that Rocket Barrage, and they just hit him, because it's a bonus damage too. You get the bonus damage when you hit with the Shadow Blade. Yeah,
instead he went for the level death, which was a little bit riskier, but...
I suppose you do have to try and, like, work out, how much mana have I got? What can I get away with?
Yeah.
Skylark's trying to get away with a kill with an Invis Rune, but... Even up against that Witch Doctor, Witch Doctor's got a point booster and an Ogre Club building into that Aghanim Scepter. But for now, it's a lot of tankiness. And they've got the ultimate up from the Faceless Void. Mask of Madness as well as Ags flying out in the Courier. This is the dream scenario for Power Rangers after what was the nightmare of Game 1. So in he flies. Aghanim's up. Now, can they scout out Skylark? And how much does he see? Like, now he'll see the Witch Doctor walking over. He'll see the Faceless Void also making a play. They won't know Skylark's here unless they walk up into this area. It's the only way to see that Beastmaster. And maybe they don't even care. Lestrike's having a great time with now a Yule Scepter on bot lane. And another 1,800 gold because he didn't have enough before.
The Doom Ags is probably one of the most obnoxious things to play against when Doom is ahead, because it just guarantees a kill. Because the Doom is already, like, because he's ahead, he's tanky enough that he will never be bursted down immediately. So he dooms you, and he guarantees, like, he's already prolonged the duration automatically by having an axe, goes up to 16 seconds, but then he prolongs it probably at least another 3 seconds, if not much, much more, because of the fact he's going to be staying in vision of you. So this is taking out, like, even the Razor, 1,700 HP. The most Razor can hope to do, this, like, the dream scenario for Golden Boys is that he gets off Eye of the Storm and Static Link before he gets doomed, and he just turns and fights as much as possible.
Well, that's what he did on top lane. That's when they did kill off the Doombringer. But moments like this up against, like, Madara, he's going to tick out right now. There was no denial out from Skylark. He just tries to burn away at Cheshire Cat, and, well, there goes your Chronosphere. Guarantees the kill on the Beastmaster. He can move over, kill off the Necro units. Oh, no! Cheshire! Careful! Necro unit is committing murder.
Yeah, that was. I was just about to say. I was like, it'd be really unfortunate to scorch earth him.
Top lane, Razor. There's your death ward. Just taking away so much. With the Lich holding it, bounce down. Does not bounce back up again, however. But the Pulse Nova's making its work. Tron, Yule scepted himself up. Buys some time. The Soul Sum just back off cooldown. But the Meg Charge will connect. Tron will be able to survive through this. And with the Witch Doctor and the Lich going to go to work, it's two supports versus, well, okay, the snowballing in Tusker. Tron's back. Kits the stun and the lightning damage. Soul Assumption, he's still alive on 83. The shards are off target. They're gonna lose next time, this time again. 25 minutes in, we have, well, just a crap ton of kills. 47 kills in 25 minutes, majority belonging to Power Rangers. And now they've also taken out every outer tower apart from that bottom tier 2.
Yeah, they've got an 18,000 gold lead right now. Just imagine if Power Rangers, like the one bad fight that they had in that bottom lane, if they didn't run into that one,
this game would be over by now.
Oh yeah, they guaranteed. I mean, he's just having fun, man. Show me's just being a boy. He's like, whatever, guys, I'm gonna stand in this team. You know, let's just have some fun with it.
Look at me. Look how I chrono.
Throw down chronospheres for no reason.
Oh boy. And what is this? Okay, so the Lich. It's a Blink Dagger in for the Faceless Void. Lich has a lot of money. He can just finish the Glimmer Cape right now on top of the mech and still have enough money for a buyback. Cheshire Cat's walking around. He is going to go for an armor build next, so has the plate mail. And okay, this is the play. They're snowballing in for Roshan. And they're using level 3 Necro books to do it. Problem is, they don't have the damage. And then you snowball in for this, and you still walk in. Now, Radiant side have no vision.
Yeah, they're good.
Yep.
They'll get it. So
I still don't know it's going to be enough, though. You get a BKB now on the Lesh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough necessarily either, but...
And they put on the Razor. Like, you talk about the fact, like, he triggers his ultimate and hopes he can just, like, try and man-fight them while keeping that ulti up before he ends up dying. Now, you trigger that at the start, or do you wait for the Aegis to expend? Do you walk up there and say, please attack me? And then you blow everything when you come back out of it.
Honestly, Toby, I really think they should have put it on the gyrocopter.
Agreed.
I mean, he
just finished his SMY too. He doesn't have buyback. Drop a salve. Like, who cares?
He outputs a lot of damage in a very short period of time. But he's also very squishy and can be bursted down. Like, if their gyrocopter gets doomed, I'm pretty sure having a second life on the Razor isn't going to mean anything. That being said, they probably put it on Razor because he's been doomed almost every single fight, so I could see where they're kind of going with this.
Yeah. It's just what it takes to win the fight. Like, you're like, okay, we keep losing him. We need to protect our Razor. He's died 6 times. The net worth isn't even in the 10,000s yet. In fact, he is actually still the top net worth of GB. Yeah. But, oh, boy. If you get a cool chrono, J4 will destroy GB. The Aghanim Scepter level 2 ulti 28 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of looking at it and going, like, Golden Boys, there's no way you win a fight unless it's the most ideal scenario possible. And for me, the most ideal scenario is that the gyrocopter gets doomed and he has a second life, and then the Razor is able to come in with impunity. This cooldown's coming after Tron now. The Visage will get the Visage moves get the stun, but yeah, Madara, he's just gonna get himself out. But again, how many times have we seen these familiars be farmed up? They can see them moving into the tree line. Problem is they can't see up to the tree line. The stun. Okay, well, there's one way to do it. Remove the tree line, remove both the familiars again. And you just never resummon for 30 seconds. This is the bottom tier 2 tower. Yeah. I'm actually wondering too if Power Rangers just go up. Just push up into the tier 3 tower. Like, as long as you don't have to commit Chronosphere, you're gonna be okay. Because that's the dream right now. Get vision, get good chrono, win game. That's the plan. They could maybe force a TP out of it, but I don't think it's like worth the risk, essentially. I don't think it's very much risk. I think they're so far ahead, and I don't think the Razor Ags is really going to mean that much. It's the PR motto, man. Okay. No boring games of Dota. Just keep pushing. Like, you understand, okay, well, no one from GB's there. Cheshire Cat moved the front lines. The man now who's got himself like 24 points of armor,
Still got his Shadow Blade, still got that Aghanim's, and he's just moving over. He sees the TP coming in. He's like, okay, well, Gyro, welcome. Instantly doomed the second he arrived, and now Void jumps in. Again, Chrono is his own teammates, but the Death Ward's in a good position. The Roar from Skylark has to be committed to stop this, but now he's got no other disable. Loses the ball because getting minus during the fight. Paralyzing Cask will hold him there. He loses the Gem of True Side. Meanwhile, back inside the base, Cheshire Cat's being flipped on a toaster right now as the Doombringer will end up dying. And that's worth 1,300 gold to a Visage. Well done, man.
Yeah, Skanks is over there going like, all right, hot damn, that just like boosted my my Aghanims. That's a straight up point booster by itself.
Then again, he keeps losing the familiar so often, it's just more money. I hate to be the pessimistic one when saying such a thing, but it's just more and more money coming in the way of Power Rangers. That Chrono was... Like, again, I think he's actually caught more teammates than he's caught enemies, but they still keep killing enemies inside those chronospheres.
I mean, that's the beauty of being this far ahead, is that you can afford to just, you know, kind of throw it out there, whatever, my team's not really going to die for it.
He's got himself a Blink Dagger. Like, it should be the dream. It's the dream Chrono. You've taken out the tower, so at least next time they could put an Observer Ward inside the base of GB, because they also stole GB's gem. So it's J4 who's walking around with this stolen gem.
Yeah, who did he Chronosphere? I forgot, but like the Chronosphere faded, and then I was like watching him, and he blinked in order to get the last hit, and I was like, wait, you what? You what, mate? Oh, all right, he's got a Blink Dagger and Faceless Void. Good to go.
Just have a little bit of fun, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the Faceless Void is more like, yeah, he's good damage, but he's more utility than anything right now when you go for this Ags build.
Yep.
So...
But that's fine. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's got a Doom and a Leshrac behind him. Those are two very heavy damage-based heroes, particularly the Leshrac. If you just control the enemy team, Leshrac and Doom will both guarantee a win. So you don't need to build
control
damage.
Too. Doom just finished his Shiva's Guard, so now he's going to make everyone just completely slow it up. Skylark it's actually kind of the funny thing. If you actually look back to the position of the fight, now the Chronosphere covered most of this region here. Skylark came in from behind, so he could roar onto the Witch Doctor who was throwing out the Death Wall. By the time he got there to throw that out, because he doesn't have a Blink Dagger, he had to walk himself outside the base to get down to that position. It was too late. The Death Ward already did the damage.
Yeah. It was the right idea by Golden Boys because they knew they just couldn't 5-man defend uphill.
Yep.
They had to split themselves against the Chronosphere.
And here they come again. Where's that Observer Ward? 15 Bloodstone charges this time over on the Lash.
Dire's bottom barracks are under...
And they're just coming in. The Dire actually have Observer Wards down as well as sentries. So they at least have the information. And Cheshire Cat's going to flag the fact too that this is here. But all they got to do is walk forward with the gem. Actually, Witch Doctor dropped it. Who's got that gem now? They must have left it behind thinking maybe this fight's going to go bad. Okay, jump in, Chrono. There it is on the razor. The cooldown's in a good position, but J4 just lets the ulti out. He actually pops the Shadow Amulet, and look at that bounce damage from the Death Ward. It's carving apart the GB boys. Madara's up too far. I think this game is over. They've lost absolutely everything. Kaiser's dying inside the base. There's no buyback. 70 seconds left for the razor to come back up again. If GB have hope, I don't know where they're keeping it, because...
Yeah, I mean, that was literally the ideal fight for Golden Boys. They went on they solo Chronosphered a Razor with Eye of the Storm going and had Pipe activated. Like, he lived through the Chronosphere. And they still lost terribly, terribly, terribly.
Yeah.
That's just because Power Rangers built themselves a gigantic advantage. And that's awesome for them because they now have a pretty good shot, I would say, of moving into phase number 2. It all comes down to how well Stark do against Monkey Business.
And of course, we're going to have that up next. We're going to make no delays whatsoever because the game may have begun. We're going to find soon, so stay on the live stream. A very short break, and we're back here for our second and last series of the night.